Hello everyone, welcome to CRS class. Today we are going to continue with the story of Joseph. You remember in our previous class, we talked about the story of Joseph, how Joseph became his father's favorite son because he was obedient and he was also a child that was born to the father at his old age. We talked about Joseph's two dreams and how those dreams spark hatred in their family. His brothers started developing hatred for him because of his dream. They feared that Joseph would become great in future and rule over them. Today we are going to continue with that story of Joseph. Joseph's brothers were jealous that he would become a great man in future, and so they all planned to do something evil to Joseph. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to give some provisions, that is food, to his brothers in the field. Okay? His brothers, and when his brothers saw him coming, they said to one another, Here comes the dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits, and then we shall say that a wild beast had devoured him, and we shall see what will happen to his dreams. Wow. His brother planned to kill him. Okay? But their eldest brother, guess who was their eldest brother? Reuben. Reuben begged his brothers not to kill Joseph, but rather he told them that they should throw him into a nearby dry pit. Okay? And Reuben's plan was to come back later and rescue Joseph. Okay? That was why he suggested that instead of killing him, let us throw him into this dry pit. Okay? And they agreed. Okay? So immediately Joseph arrived, his brother seized him. Okay? And they removed his clothes. You remember that cloth has been another point of jealousy. Joseph's father made him a coat of many colors. Okay? And so his brothers were jealous of that cloth as well. And so they removed his dress and put him in a dry pit, as suggested by Reuben. Later, they saw some Midianite traders. So Bible translation will say Ishmaelite traders on their way to Egypt. Okay? And one of them, called Judah, suggested, he said, instead of leaving him in this dry pit for him to starve and die, why not we sell him out to this trader? At least we can make money out of it. And so they brought out Joseph and sold him for 20 shekels of silver. For how much? 20 shekels of silver. Okay? So the trader took Joseph to Egypt. And on getting to Egypt, they sold him as a slave. Okay? They sold him as a slave. Who do they sell him to? We are going to look at it. We will hear that very soon. Okay? As we progress in our story. So the trader sold him as a slave in Egypt. Now, what did Joseph's brothers, what do? Joseph's brothers then killed a goat and dipped Joseph's clothes into it, into the blood of the goat, and they took the dress home and told Jacob that a wild beast had killed Joseph. This was their plan. They lied that a wild beast had killed Joseph. Okay? Jacob was very unhappy to hear of the death of Joseph. This was a young boy, a son that he loved so much. The father was so bitter. He was so angry and he was sad, okay, to hear about the death of Joseph. He mourned Joseph for many days. The father mourned Joseph for many days. All right. Now, Joseph became the servant of Potiphar. Remember, when they sold Joseph as a slave in Egypt, he was sold to a man called Potiphar. Potiphar was an officer of the king of Egypt. Officer of the king of Egypt. Okay? He was the captain of the king's guard. He was a big man. He was the captain of the king's guard. Okay? He was the one that bought Joseph as a slave in Egypt. Now, Potiphar put Joseph in charge of all his property because he was honest and hardworking. Wow. And so Joseph found favor in the sight of his master, Potiphar. And so Potiphar put him in charge of all his property because of Joseph's honesty and hard work. Okay? So Joseph served his master very well. However, something terribly happened to Joseph. Potiphar's wife was a bad woman. And so one day, she told Joseph to sleep with her. But Joseph refused. And Joseph said, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God and my master?" So Joseph refused to sleep with the woman. So Potiphar's wife continued to ask Joseph to sleep with her. But on each occasion, he refused. One day, she held Joseph's dress and begged him to sleep with her. But Joseph left the dress in her hands, so, and ran out of the house. And so when she held Joseph's dress and said, "Today you must sleep with me whether you like it or not," what did Joseph do? Joseph just removed the cloth and left it in her hand, and Joseph ran out of the house. And so the woman then held the dress and ran outside. She was afraid that Joseph will likely report the incident to her husband, and so she decided to lie that Joseph had come to sleep with her, but ran away when she cried. And so the implication was that Joseph was trying to rape her, but that wasn't true. Actually, she was the one begging Joseph to sleep with her. And so when Potiphar arrived home, his wife told him the lie, and he believed his wife. Potiphar believed his wife, and he was so angry that he put Joseph into prison. Wow. He put Joseph into prison. Okay? Because the wife told a lie against Joseph. Now, while Joseph was in prison, some of the prisoners had dreams. And you know, Joseph had a gift of interpreting dreams. When Joseph heard about it, God helped him to interpret their dreams. There were two prisoners who worked for Pharaoh as the chief butler and the chief baker. One night, the chief butler and the chief baker dreamed. The chief butler dreamed that he saw a vine tree with three branches. A vine tree with three branches. The branches produce grapes, that is fruit, okay, which he took to Pharaoh and pressed them into his cup for him to drink. That was his dream, okay? And he was so worried because he doesn't know what the meaning is. So Joseph told him that the dream meant that he will be released from the prison in 3 days' time. In 3 days' time, he will be released from the prison and he will go back to Pharaoh and work for him as his chief butler again. Joseph told him to remember him when he got back his job. That was what Joseph told him. Joseph said, "Remember me when you get back your job." The second person was the chief baker. The chief baker also dreamed that he was carrying 3 cake baskets on his head, and there was food in the basket at the top, and birds came down from the sky and ate the food. He too was worried because he doesn't know the meaning of the dream. But Joseph interpreted the dream. Joseph told him, "The 3 baskets are 3 days, after which Pharaoh will hang you on the tree, and the bears will eat your flesh." That is to say, after 3 days, the chief baker will be killed. The dreams of the chief butler and the chief baker came to pass. The chief butler was released and he got back his job. Okay? And Pharaoh also cut off the chief baker's head and hung the body on a tree, and birds ate his flesh, just like Joseph interpreted the dream. But as the chief butler was leaving the prison, Joseph said to him, "Please do not forget me when you get back your job. When you return to the palace, remember me." Now, when the chief butler left the prison to the palace to continue his job with the king, what did he do? Did he forget Joseph? Or did he eventually remember Joseph? We are going to continue with that step of the story in our next class.